Meridian Speedway has been a pivotal rail route for the delivery of cargo in the southern United States for many years now. This 320-mile line between Shreveport, Louisiana and Meridian, Mississippi serves as the middle ground for cross-country intermodal. The mid-2000s came with the formation of a joint venture between KCS and its neighboring Class 1 to the east, Norfolk Southern. With the financial backing of NS, the stretch of track was completely overhauled to handle high-speed intermodal traffic to perfection. Today, a large portion of rail traffic on the Speedway consists of haulage-right intermodals from Norfolk Southern along with the Union Pacific. With modern diesel technology, KCS efficiently serves as the middleman between the east and the west. The Speedway is the fastest method of rail transportation from the northeast to Dallas, along with the southeast United States to California. This is Kansas City Southern's Meridian Speedway, the partnership for speed. Throughout the history of the United States of America, the railway has played a critical role in making the country the economic superpower it is today. From simply connecting the East and the West, to expanding into an intricate system spread out all over the continental United States. In today's modern and technological advanced era, intermodal has become a top priority for Class 1 railroads. If you're alongside any major main line, there is a very good chance that intermodal in some way or form is transported on it. The Meridian Speedway has proven to be an effective route for transporting intermodal goods on a national scale. As I said in the intro, the Speedway is the fastest route between the Dallas area to the northeast and also the southwest to California. In this video, we'll be taking a deeper look into the specific intermodal trains that run the Speedway on a daily basis. We'll take a look at where they originate, where they terminate, and much more. Let's start off with the intermodals that traverse the Speedway daily. Kicking us off is what is one of the most well-known intermodals on the Kansas City Southern system, IDAT. The IDAT symbol stands for Intermodal from Dallas to Atlanta. Though the symbol states Dallas, this intermodal technically originates just outside of the city at the large Wiley Intermodal Facility. Wiley has access to 20 interstates and 15 other intermodal facilities by rail, and access to air and sea, making it a hotspot for the transportation of goods. From Wiley, IDAT travels through East Texas into Shreveport, Louisiana. From Shreveport, it will roll onto the Speedway and travel to Meridian, Mississippi. In Meridian, Kansas City Southern hands off the stack to the Norfolk Southern, who will then take the reins all the way to the train's terminating point in Atlanta. The usual power for this stack is KCS along with Norfolk Southern power. IDAT primarily hauls domestic intermodal, with mostly JB Hunt and EMP containers. Here we see an IDAT highballing eastward out of Monroe, Louisiana, with a trio of modern 6-axle locomotives. Another day's IDAT is seen with common Norfolk Southern power. It is of interesting note that KCS has an extra intermodal labeled IDAT2. This is an extra stack train that serves the same duties as the original. The second IDAT used to be a daily run, but thanks to PSR, it currently only runs 2 days a week. An IDAT2 is seen at the Magenta siding, easing by. The next intermodal we will cover is the westbound counterpart of IDAT, IATDA. Now the IATDA is pretty much identical to the previous in everything excluding the direction. This stack begins its journey in the Norfolk Southern Yard in Atlanta and ends at the Wiley Logistics Park. From Atlanta, it'll travel westward through Georgia and Alabama before reaching Meridian. There, KCS crews will climb aboard the stack and continue its trip onto the Meridian Speedway. Once reaching Shreveport, it will finish the journey to Wiley. The IATDA is almost always led by KCS or NS power and has the same container types as the eastbound counterpart. There is also a second IATDA that used to run daily but now is limited to 2 or 3 times a week. Here's an IATDA in the city of Vicksburg, Mississippi, making way for the Mississippi River Bridge to cross into Louisiana. We chase the same stack to the Louisiana side of the bridge. Speedway trains slowly travel across this bridge at a 10 miles per hour limit. Once the entire length of the train is clear, KCS gives permission for intermodals to proceed at full track speed. Let's switch gears to the daily Union Pacific intermodals with haulage rights on the Speedway. Intermodal ZLCAI is an eastbound daily intermodal that traverses across the entire United States. It originates in Los Angeles, California, and terminates in Atlanta. During its journey, 3 Class 1 companies will participate in transporting its cargo: KCS, UP, and NS. After traveling through California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas, ZLCAI rolls into Louisiana to Shreveport. Still on Union Pacific rails, the Californian intermodal stops in UP's Hollywood Yard, where a KCS crew will then take it out to KCS rails, where it will head for Meridian. From Meridian, NS will handle it for the rest of the way to Atlanta. Domestic intermodal, specifically red and green hub group containers, make up the majority of the loads. Before, it was almost guaranteed to see Armor Yellow locomotives leading the charge, but for the last year or so, it has become common practice for UP to cut their power in Shreveport and allow a set of Norfolk Southern units to lead. Even with this, it is still very common to see your typical Union Pacific engines. Here we see a ZLCAI racing by milepost 100.8 on the Vicksburg subdivision. These Union Pacific intermodals are at the very top of the priority list on the Meridian Speedway. Everything from the manifest to the Wiley stacks are often waiting in sidings for them to clear. We witnessed this occasion at the Gibbsland siding, and IDAT allows the higher priority ZLCAI to pass by back in 2018. A ZLCAI breaks through the fog on the outskirts of Ruston, Louisiana, this time with the Norfolk Southern set of power that replaced the UP motors in Hollywood Yard. Next up is the westbound counterpart, ZAILC. It's basically the same train but once again in the opposite direction, this time originating in Atlanta and ending its journey in the City of Angels. One feature that differs it from its opposite is the occasional appearance of a cut of auto rack cars in front of the rest of the intermodal containers. On our section of the Meridian Speedway, this train usually runs well after the sun sets. Union Pacific 1982, the heritage unit that represents the Missouri Pacific, is seen leading a ZAILC. The Meridian Speedway also has some smaller intermodal facilities on the line. One is in Jackson, Mississippi, that Kansas City Southern shares with the Canadian National Railway, and there is also a small one in West Monroe, Louisiana. You can sometimes catch these containers mixed in with the manifest. I hope you enjoyed this basic overview of intermodal traffic on the Meridian Speedway. If you did enjoy, please leave a like down below and maybe share it. If you have anything to say at all, whether it's a question or criticism, comment down below. Thanks for watching the Meridian Speedway, the partnership for speed.